Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Have G20 member states in general been focused on building and bolstering their existing sustainable infrastructure capabilities?
Yeah, I think first of all, let me say that I think since 1999 when the G20 was formed, and over the last I think almost 17 years, right? So that G20 has members have been working together, try to stabilize the global economy, financial stability, try to promote growth, and particularly after this global financial crisis back to 2008, they had a lot of policy coordination, dialogues, and member countries tried to adopt policies to stimulate growth, try to get the economy back to the higher, sustainable, balanced growth. And they discuss a lot, if my memory is correct, about how to increase infrastructure investment in particular. And they see this is one of the driving force for the growth, particularly for the strong growth in the coming years. So that they had a discussion, I can say from the last few years, particularly how each member countries try to that increase their infrastructure financing. And they also talk to the international finance institutions like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, where like the bank I'm from Asian Development Bank. So we they also talk to the international finance institution on how to we can also mobilize more resources for infrastructure development. So I see that there has been a consensus on this, that to mobilize more resources to support transport, energy, urban infrastructure, and and also maybe information technology among others. So that member countries can generate higher growth and more inclusive, more sustainable, more balanced growth in the coming years. Certainly, there's still a lot of work to do. Actually, this time, that I think even this year, China hosts the G20. This is one of the key topic, how that they can support this the sustainable development, right, by the infrastructure financing. So that even this time I'm here, we are also going to have one session on how we promote sustainable infrastructure financing also. So you see, this is continue to be the one topic, high topic, for the G20. So that's but I said still a lot of work to do in the coming years in this very important area.
Just to get a little bit more specific as to the role of ADB in promoting infrastructure-led growth and ecological sustainability within its given jurisdictional mandate.
Yeah, certainly that our strategic mandate for ADB, we have three strategic mandates. One is for the for the inclusive growth. Secondly, for environmentally sustainable growth. Thirdly, for the regional integration and cooperation. Those are three strategic agenda for the ADB. So how we achieve that? One of the important area we will try to do is to to mobilize resources to support infrastructure development in Asia and Pacific, so that we, as you may know, that our bank has focused so much on the infrastructure investment over the years. Last 50 years, ADB has been set up for 50 years. So we are celebrating 50 years anniversary this year, since 1966. So that infrastructure investment in general account for about 2/3 or even 8% of our operations. So that's we heavily support the project in the urban urban infrastructure, transport, energy, and among others. So that in India also we support a lot of projects in India. And so that certainly in the coming years, we Asian Development Bank will try to mobilize more resources. As you know that there's a very big gap for the financing, right, for the infrastructure still for many countries, particularly for the developing countries. So that how we try to mobilize more resources from our own, and also try to do more co-financing from others, right? And also try to how can we get more PPP project? Try to channel more private sector money, right, into the infrastructure sector. This is something very important for Asian development in the coming years. And financing is a very important issue I mentioned to you. Another one, how we, also try to make sure when we support the infrastructure project, we also make sure that the project can be done, environmentally with environmentally sustainability, right? We have to make sure when we prepare the project, implement project, those we follow the very high level, environmental and social safeguard, standard, right? So we try to manage any kind of negative impact caused by the infrastructure project on the environment, on the people, right? In the living in the project area. So those are something very important for us, and we also need to try to even help our developing member country to improve their own country system in terms of environmental safeguard or social safeguard. Like in India, I know that India government also want ADB to try to make more use of India's own country system to develop the infrastructure project. So so we will on the one hand try to adopt implement a very high level standard, right, environmental standard. At the same time, we also need to help our developing members to improve their own environmental social standards. So another area I think ADB can do is we will try to facilitate more high level technology into our developing member country as we do the project. So this is something we are working on that. That we have been trying to provide more resources, financial resources over the years, very much. But in future, how can we also facilitate transfer of technology through our project in the infrastructure area? This is something we need to really make more effort. And also, I think we Asian development countries should also try to do more for the capacity building, help our development members to improve their project design capacity, project implementation capacity. That so they can we can make sure the project can be completed on time, without delay, and project could be finished and within achieving the development impact as we expected from very beginning. So many countries some countries have a stronger capacity for project design implementation, but still many countries are have a very weak capacity, I should say, right? They don't know so much how to design the project, how to do the detailed design, how to do the project feasibility study, that kind of things. So ADB as an international development bank, we can offer our technical support, knowledge, right, to support those kind of things. And also I want to say that when we support infrastructure, I can tell you ADB has been very active in promoting this regional cooperation integration. Many of the infrastructure projects we support are like a cross-border project, not just in one country. Like we support the transmission line between India and Bangladesh. Okay, so it's like a cross-border transmission line, right? So and also some other railway project in South Asia and Central Asia, road project. Those cross-border road that will involve many countries, right? So how can we really try to also help the countries to do the coordination and try to make sure the road corridor become the trade corridor, and finally become an economic corridor. Those kind of things. And also we have to work with the countries concerned to manage those kind of any kind of ecological, environmental, or social impact of those big cross-border projects. So a lot of things as we do at the country level and the regional level for infrastructure development in the coming years. I think Asian Development Bank will work with other development partners, right, and the country concerned to address those challenges I mentioned to you. So there's so many things we can do together.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned the idea of regional integration and the road networks that you guys are working on, because one of the projects that ADB and AIIB have worked on is the co-financing of a Pakistan highway.
Yeah.
So what is your take on the influence of geopolitics that this has?
Actually, let me tell you that actually before I came here, last Friday, ADB's board just approved this this co-finance project, between the ADB and the AIB on I think what we call the M4 highway project for the Pakistan. This is ADB provided $100 million, and AIB also provided $100 million, together with money from the DFID, DFID, UK government, aid agencies. They also contribute a big, I think more than $30 billion money for $30 million money for this project. So we, together with government's money, so I think we try to, support this, M4 highway project. This M4 project is part of this, north-south corridor, transport corridor project for the Pakistan. This, if we can help the country to finish this, missing part of the highway, and so the whole transport corridor can be there, in place, right? So that can help really not only Pakistan to achieve this national integration, right, domestically, but also can help the Pakistan, to play a role, to be connected with the neighboring countries, like from Central Asia, to and the South Asia. So that with this corridor in place, those goods or maybe and services coming in the future can come also through this corridor, through Pakistan further to the South Asia. So you see, this is like what we call regional economic corridor project. Not only Pakistan will benefit, but also the country in Central Asia and other countries will also benefit. So I feel this is a very good project. We support it. AIB, the Asian New Development Bank, also very much like to support it. So so I think we are going to implement it very successfully. So that I see that this is something that. That we are going to even to do more this kind of project with the AIB. And actually, last week I met with the vice president of the AIB. That he actually is from India, Mr. Pandey. He came to ADB. I had a meeting with him. So we said we should try to work together, try to do more this kind of co-financing in the coming days and months, right? In our member countries. Not only in Pakistan, but in other countries, including maybe in India and other countries. I mean, so it's not something it's more about that cooperation, right? In the economic development area. So I see that but of course it also strategically is so important. This project I mentioned to you, not only important for the Pakistan, but also for the whole region, because this project will have a big impact on the regional cooperation and integration. So that's what I can share with you.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. I think I mentioned to you, now this infrastructure financing are very important. As I said, it could be serve as a one of the drivers or sources of growth coming here for many countries, not only for developing countries but also for the developed economy, like in US and other advanced economy. They also needed to put more investment like for the infrastructure, particularly after financial crisis. So this is the issue not only for the developing country, and particularly developing country needed to do more, and also at the same time, how can we improve the sustainability of our infrastructure project, right? We discussed already, and how we increase our inclusiveness, our infrastructure project these days, so that when we build the infrastructure, the people, right, near the project area, right, can benefit from the road, from the power plant, from the urban water, and sanitation facility, right? We build that infrastructure. We want the people to benefit from that. And that's why I mentioned to you, that these days, we try to make sure, when we build the infrastructure, those infrastructure will be environmentally, ecologically sustainable, financially sustainable, and economically that those projects will have a big inclusive kind of impact, so that can help the people, right, particularly for the low income and the poor people, right, to use the infrastructure, benefit from the infrastructure for their better life, for their better living standards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.